Tuesday, see if it makes, if my internet's any better today. Hopefully it is. I want to apologize to everybody for, I think it was Saturday, Friday or Saturday. I recorded a couple of videos, but I didn't get them up. I'm hoping to do that today. Here yet. Let me see. And of course, here we go with the squirrel, the ham. But I'll talk to y'all a little bit. This is not, what I'm going to discuss with you today is not going about me and why I might not get videos posted as quickly as or as often as I would like right now. Periods of time. They will be short though. It won't be something that'll be, you know, weeks at a time, hopefully. But this is not a channel for children anyway. So if you're under 18, I would kind of ask you to, or just let me say what I have to say. I am only going to be 48 years old. So for the amount of pain that I suffer, I should not be suffering that kind of pain at 48 or soon to be 48. But my discomfort that I have is work related from a job that I had for many years that I've not worked in that field in many years. I do not work at all now due to my injury, but I was a nurse's aide for hospice. I've done respite, pretty much type of you can think of. In 2006, I'm working in a hospital. Well, by morning, I should say, from 5 o'clock in the morning until 9, 10 o'clock. I was sitting behind a desk as a receptionist, answering phones, collecting mail, all that fun stuff for a construction company. And I would go to my second day job, where I also the scheduling, hiring and scheduling of the nurses' aides. I did quality control for the facility, but it was for home care. And then I got off work there around 6 and went and worked at the hospital and worked from 6 until midnight. 2-year-olds or year and a half who claimed that he was disabled and knew how to work the system. Obviously, he knew how to work the system, faking disability better than I know how to do. From a nursing home, who had an altered mental status, and they were testing said patient for a infectious disease. Here, the patient had just, the hospital was a resident, as I said, of a nursing home who had just been brought in as a resident. And he had only been there for a couple of days when they noticed some behaviors that didn't seem right. Patient privacy, I'm not giving names or condition. But so therefore, when you walked in his room, you had to be fully gowned with the yellow paper gowns, gloves, mask, the little booties on your feet, all that. You had to sit in the room like that the whole time, which meant if you needed help with the patient, you had to allow gown up and get in the room with. Well, this gentleman, he wasn't very stable on his feet, so he had a bedside commode right next to the bed. That was pretty much used for emergency there until we found out get the results back from all the tests that were being run to find out what kind of infection he had. He couldn't just get up and walk to the bathroom. So if he was having a good day, well, I got him to his bedside commode because it was a bad day. And then when he was finished, I, helped him from the bedside commode back to the bed. Well, he was patient the time that he needed. So I'm helping him. I stand in front of him. We had a gait belt that we wrapped around the patient. And then we use that to help transfer them. Well, I get him all set up. We're getting ready to do the transfer. And just as I go to pivot to my left, up under him. Therefore, I'm bearing all of his weight on my neck, my back. As I twist, I felt something pull in my back. Bed safely, and I go, and sit, try and stretch my back a little bit. And as the night went on, it progressively, the pain got worse and worse and worse. And I started feeling things that didn't feel right. Beyond getting stiff, I was feeling things that didn't feel quite right. And I could not ask for help. There was no time to ask for somebody to come in and help me, which would leave me liable, or try and get him safely on his bed and hope that no one gets hurt. I filed an injury report and was sent down to the emergency room to have x-rays done. Of course, you can't see anything with x-rays, especially if it's muscular or in the nerve. So I was sent home, scheduled an appointment with my MD, with my personal doctor, and we had more x-rays ran. We had an MRI ran. There was all kinds of things that we had done, and there was just showing a lot of muscle strain and a pinched light duty for nurses' aides, especially the type of light duty that I would have needed would have been something that I would have been able to get up and move around when I needed to, and would have been able to sit down when I needed to. It wouldn't have been the entire shift. They sent me to physical therapy 3 days after I injured my back. I went to get out of bed. I woke up, went to climb out of bed, and I had no feeling in my legs, and I went right to the floor. So that was pretty much, at that point, we knew that that was nerve related. I filed a workers' comp claim in May of 2000, as far as regular workers' comp. They said, yes, I did hurt myself on the job, but if I would have followed protocol of not trying to transfer a patient by myself, the injury would not have happened. And yes, that is true. It is true, the injury would not have happened. But if I would have waited for somebody to come in to help me, the patient would have gotten injured, and then I would have been bills that they dated up to only that point. Anything beyond any medical bills that were incurred past that, they would not cover. And since I applied, part of my requirements when I filed my workers' comp case was to apply for disability, which, whether it be full or partial or temp, that there is a job out there for me. My mouth and hands still worked, so I could get a job answering phones, or I could get a job, typing or such. Well, if you don't have experience as a full-fledged receptionist or secretary, which I did not, the programs that we used for the company that I did work for the construction company, it was very simple. It was just your basic. I did close out books for the jobs once they were completed. It was pretty much paper, dealing with paper stuff. I didn't have to use Excel or Word or anything like that. So in order for me to be able to get a job doing that, I was going to have to go back to school, which again, I would have had to go back to school to become a secretary, or, at least to learn how to use their programs. But also that would have had a job where I was having to sit the majority of my day, and that was not an option for me. I could only sit for periods of 30 to 40 minutes at a time. Then I would have to get up and do a little bit of walking around. Then after walking too much, then I'd have to sit back down. You there one moment for the next, what my day was going to be like. So I went to physical therapy. Physical therapy did not help. It actually seemed to make it worse. And they started talking about, in most cases, because so I was not ready for back surgery. I dealt with the pain. I took pain medications, anti-inflammatories, muscle relaxer. That was 2006, 2007, 2008 and 9 were, I was either, maybe things were starting to just work themselves out. But 2010 and I ended up I went in and I had no meniscus. I left knee all, and it was in shreds. So I had knee surgery. I had an MCL replacement. And the doctor said that my surgeon said that he figured that stemmed from my back, because I had to, the way I was walking, I was putting a lot more strain on my knees. Now, my right knee, it had problems. It wasn't to the extent of my left knee. And it seemed in 2014, yes, 2014, late 2013, early 2014, I started having falls. I would start walking. Make sure you're stable. I was using all my body mechanics the way I was supposed to, but I started having falls. It was like, minute I knew I had to go, I had to go. There wasn't that time where it's like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom, and you had time to get there, or you could say, oh, I can hold it for a minute. No, half hour before I actually had to go is what I needed. So I started losing muscle control where my bladder and bowels were concerned. And then started having the falls down. I was falling down steps. I was losing the ability for my brain to even tell me to take a step. My brain knew what I needed to do, but it was not sending the signals for my arms to move properly. So I went in and seen a neurosurgeon. I went and seen a neurologist, and we had an MRI done, and he came back in the room with when I had it done, came back with my results. We sat down, we talked. He said, "Do you want me to fix you?" I don't know how you've lived this and in the physical shape that your body is in. He said, "Do you want me to fix you? It will require surgery." And I fell apart. I couldn't think, I couldn't speak. I was petrified. He said, "If you have the surgery, the L4 and L5 vertebrae, anybody who knows anatomy, there's nothing below." He said, "The disc that was there for almost 2 years at that point, it was just me and my son who was at home. And at that time, my son was 11. So he couldn't take care of me, and he still needed me to take care of him quite a bit. I was going to, even if my husband was here, he was not going to be able to take off the amount of work that he was going to need to take care of me. So his family is in Arizona and New York. My second daughter at that time lived in Idaho and left. So we decided to go ahead and schedule my surgery for July 15th, 2015. My husband did come home back here to Vegas. He got surgery. The worst pain that I have ever experienced in my life was the recovery for that. When I was in the hospital, they removed them before I came home, before they sent me home. I had to walk with a walker. I had to sleep on my back, which was already uncomfortable. I kind of face in my back between the L4 and the L5. And then there's a cage that's a bit stable. And like I said, I had to learn how to walk. I knew I could walk. I wasn't paralyzed, but my body mechanics had to learn how to work with that spacer and that cage. During had a neck problem as C5 and 6, cervical 5 and 6 in my neck, that I had a disc that was protruding. And I looked like at the very top part of my neck, right there, fruit or a softball in half and laying it on my neck. That's how big it protruded out. So they wanted neck surgery. And I was like, oh, no. After Christopher Reeves, there was no way we were doing neck surgery. But then it got to the point where they said this wasn't even able to walk yet in September. I still hadn't recovered. It's 6 to 8 months after my July back surgery to even feel that I could function, much less have another surgery and have to recover from that. So I held off and I held off and I held off. Well, then now I'm starting to have the pain down my shoulders, the right side. I started having migraines that would last a week at a time. There's times where I couldn't get out of my dark bedroom. It just became more than I could handle. I went back. He needed to go in anterior to do it. And finally, but it was July 25th of 2000. 100% yes. Very easy recovery, minimal pain. The pain that I really dealt with most, I have very high, my nerves in my neck are very, very, very sensitive. Was my back surgery successful? Yes and no. I have not fallen since before I had my back surgery. I still have pain. That is, it's just, I guess it's going to be, that's just what it's going to be. I'm going to live with the pain for the rest of my life. There's going to be pain, and much more tolerable than what I experienced prior to the surgery, but it's still pain in both my neck and my back, sciatica in my hip. So yeah, there's just lots of things. I'm not able to work. We are able to, live off of his income, and to, we're trying to save for retirement. He's 4 years from retiring. So it would have been nice. It would be nice if I could, we've done this for, we're good. To where it just completely fogs my brain. I can wake up in the morning and come downstairs, get my coffee, go to do something, and completely forget. It affects my sleep. I have a very hard time sleeping at night. I'm just getting better with waking up at a more reasonable time. It used to be that I could go to bed at 5 years on 3 hours of sleep a night, and a cat nap throughout the day. Sleep. So I'm still up till around, 1, but I'm not, but I usually, it's because I've had a bad night. I may have been, up and down going to the bathroom. Right. And temperatures, heat affects me. A lot of people say that have fibromyalgia, say colder climates hurt them. Let's see if this is going to start. Cold does not affect me as much as heat does, because my core temperature is always higher anyway. All right, I'm waiting for this to try and reconnect. All right. My core temperature heats up when I get a flare up. So when I'm hot, it seems to fire all over skin with the fibro more, and with the muscles more. I use aspartame with lidocaine, those types of things, and they feel that the trauma, and he's difficult. I only have both of them for a short amount of time, because I usually get the baby around 10 or I pick up the 11-year-old from school at 3:30. And Friday was a 12-hour day. I had the baby, and that really wore on me. So Saturday, I didn't get to do the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to clean my house because it's really needed it, especially having this little boy. He's a thrower. There's a pancake stuck to my island. He threw his little silver dollar pancake, and the syrup stuck to my cabinet on my island. I didn't find that till Sunday. But Saturday, I planned on cleaning the house. I started to do things, and I hurt my back. So I stopped, and I did not end up cleaning on Saturday. my house needed to be cleaned. I'm the believer, if you're a stay-at-home mom, take care of. Doesn't matter, if mom's sick, she don't get to take the week off. Or if dad's sick, he does hours on Sunday cleaning my house. And that was just the downstairs. Because I had to cross-wave my tile, I had to vacuum my floors. I did wash my husband's work clothes, went grocery shopping. I made homemade spaghetti sauce and made spaghetti and garlic bread for dinner. I knew I had the kids on Monday. Have today off. No, got a phone call. I had to babysit today. I had to get up. I had to take the mom to work because the father needs the car later in the day to go to work. So I had to get up this morning. I had to take her to and drop him off at 8, pick his mom up from work, take her to her boyfriend work so she can pick up the car, so she can have the car to take her son to Scouts and Kempo. And and she does not pay me a lot because she's financially struggling. So I'm trying to help her out and make it easier for her to be able to afford 4 hours on Tuesday, 4 hours on, because she cannot afford to pay me hourly. I was there. I know what it's like to be a mom trying to work and put kids in daycare or get childcare. But everything's affecting me both mentally, getting new pain in my back. And I do think that it's just brought on from the stress, or I'm actually getting ready to have a flare up. It's in the trap and in the upper lumbar. Week where I don't post very many videos. That's why I'm still trying to grow my channel. I'm still trying to get content. I am expecting a few things to come mail, some from China. It's going to be a while. I'm trying to get some topics for WIP-N-Chats. Is anybody watching American Idol? I know I'll be answered, if answered at all, through replay, because I've had no comments and I've had people coming and going. I have not had more than, I think, 4 people. So, but if you feel like answering the question, are you watching American Idol? I don't normally watch a lot of the reality shows, but I happened to watch it this year. This season. I watched the first episode the other night. I missed the second. I missed last night. If it was on last night, I think it was last night. But I'm watching Matter. So we record these things because my husband's hours, the way he works, he can't stay awake long enough to watch it, and he does not like to watch commercials. So we record them, and then we get X amount of stuff. All Rise, Manifest, one something Bluff. I forget what it was. It was a attorney show, and that was taken off the air. I think it was called Bluff City Law. I think is what it was. We love that. Absolutely loved it. Got 1 season. They took it off. I don't understand these networks. There have been shows that have been on, just bounce my head off the wall when I even see a preview for it. And I think, what in the hell is the matter with this show? What the hell's the matter with the people that watch this show? What the hell's the matter with the producers and with the networks that they keep it on there? But then there's a good show that comes out, and I'm not the only person that thinks it's good, obviously, because, and you have people posting on there. It's like, why is this show on here? This is stupid. I think that shows just need to be left, and the ones that want to watch them, watch them. The ones that don't have to. Kind of like YouTube. On there, don't watch it. If you don't like what it says, don't watch it. Well, TV networks need to do the same thing. Keep the shows on there that people like. And if you don't want to watch it, channel. Don't take the shows off the air And the people that actually do like it get screwed. And that's basically how I look at that. You don't see books that just come off the shelves because nobody likes them. You can always still get those books. There's plenty of authors that write books that I don't like their books, but it doesn't. The few things that we do watch, it's just a few considering how much is on TV. But for the most part, I watch YouTube or Netflix. Or listen to audio. Even in the comments, what shows do you like to watch? And what shows have been removed, that have been taken off the air that you have to watch and you can't now? I don't find out when I'm having these kids until you would think, or at least make it up too far in advance, they would have found a way to be able to actually schedule him in there. But no, he finds out. I found out last night at 9 o'clock what time he was working today. I've told him, you need her to put up the schedule. And he won't. Sorry, excuse me. Hang on one second. Hello? I need to end this. This is for my school. I'm going to pick the rest of this up on a WIP-N-Chat. So I'm sorry to have to chat. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Hello. Hi.